Guys. Ew. Oh boy, yay! How are you? I am so thirsty. Woke up feeling really dehydrated feeling. You got your tonkin cap ready? Well, I hope so. Where is it? Okay. No small bobs today? Well, that, my friend, just give me a moment. Just give me a little moment, okay? They'll come. Can't have my stream without the small bobs today. You guys need to exist, or not I'll be sad. But I don't... I've been trying to get it to work a little bit here, but yeah. Hi! The great ace Vyolfers, my ace? I might be a gremlin, but I can be an ace, great ace gremlin, yes. Wait a freaking minute. Wait. I want my cocoa bubbles. What? Holy crap, okay. I am trying. Okay, alright, okay. The curious kind of missing cocoa bobs. It's here, it's coming. There you go. They're trickling down. There you go. Here you guys. The rain of the cocoa bobs. They're coming. Okay. Alright. Now we can continue. guys are here now. It's all good now. Okay. I'm gonna try to... before we start, I'm gonna try to remember what happened last stream. Because we're gonna go to trial, and there's like a lot of things going on with McGilded, Ginaaa. And I have a sneaking suspicion that McGilded is still alive, but people say that McGilded is dead because that's McGilded inside. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see. So let's get a move on now. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, it's brain wrecking time. Sorry, go ahead. Yes. When I woke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Oh no. Why does this feel back when Maya left? Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. Oh no. 17th April! Old Bailey Feathers Antechamber. Alright, there she is. Morning, Ginaaa. Ah, she's still being a big son. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, her in the fancy dress, Susato or however you say it. I don't know. So Susato is gonna forget. I mean, she'll be back, I guess, in the second game. I bet. Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You'll arrive with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. Oh, what a sweetheart. Are you guys? Why are you guys? Okay, look. If you guys want to be near me so much, if you guys really want to be near me so much, and I can just put you to sit down over here, you know, so you just can't walk around, so you just stay here. You know what I mean? Okay, okay. Here you go. Here you go. I'll put you there. Okay, enjoy your comfy seats right next to my laptop. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again one day. Even so, but you, Ginaaa, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. What's this? Ah! Why are you bringing cat into the I thought you... Hey, I know pets are not allowed in the court of law. How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep? I miss what you're doing here. What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Waggy. Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. Let me have a nose around. What harm can it do? A lot of harm! Don't make it as a red flag. Come on. Well, that reminds me. I bought paper on the way here. The paper? Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? Can I have both news? What you say, Runo? I don't like get the bad news first and then the good. Yeah, exactly. Now always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Yeah, let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. Yes, thank you. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning and carriages all over the capitals are struggling to move. Oh, bad news. Was a weather report? Well, yeah, bad news for Susato though? How is she going to get to the port safely? So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and the train is in delay on its way to the port. Exactly! Gosh! Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if this train is delayed, it should be able to make it up the time later. Well, that's good news. I guess you can say. I couldn't give a monkeys really. If only all good news cancelled out the bad. If only. And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Really? Pawnbrokers perish in pick. It's a quadruple P. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. Wow, that's a mouthful. How'd you like that? Let them see what they want to say. See if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Yeah, it's true. Too much peace. Don't worry, Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. Hello? And then in tomorrow's paper, the headlines will be discharge diver is dauntless Gudoger. Oh, that's still really hard to say. Oh yeah, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. What was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she's still here. Oh, she's gonna be with us? I mean, if she's gonna be with us, it'll be fine. It'll be fun, honestly. Good luck then, Reno. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. Oh gosh. Put that down! We're in the court! I'm not sure that big thing is comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, was wondering this all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes. The operation was a great success, but Harley still hasn't come around yet. That's a lie! That's a big fat chunky lie! We saw that Harley was fine. Susie was talking to him yesterday before she goes. So... yeah. Asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's awake. Is he feigning? Is he like faking himself? I don't know. Alright. No Susato-san, no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today. To prove that Ginaaa is innocent of this crime. Miss Ginaaa Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. Oh boy. It's time then. Yes, let's go, Ginaaa. Iris. Lead the way, Bruno. Poor Ginaaa. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. Have to believe in her from the start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. Yes, lawyer's secret weapon! If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. Yes, Kazuma. Go get him, Ginaaa! Right? We can do this! Together. Together. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court now room to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt of or innocence of Miss Ginaaa Lestrade. I wonder how many some nation examination will happen in this trial. Just realized when watching the Vyolfers for last stream that Lestrade is the name of the investigator from the original. Really? Oh, oh dang! So many parallel to the real Sherlock story. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Hello, Van Zeeks. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zeeks, my lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. There are some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior. Hey boy, he came out of retirement again. He did. Apparently he did. In what one might describe your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, Consul. Hey, don't judge! He just wants to see us, that's why. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. McGilded? Mr. McGilded? He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I was just about to manage to work that out, thank you. Burglar! I'm sorry, I'm horrible. My tongue doesn't want to cooperate with me sometimes. You say it's difficult to say burglary. You ain't Scottish, ain't ya? No! Don't make me say purple burglar. What was it? Purple burglar? I feel like there was a tongue twister, was it, for the Scottish people? Don't make me do that joke. That's gonna make me feel sad. Magnus McGilded. If I would know what a monster he was, I would never have to defend him. Well, the thing is, we just never know. We were blind. Burglar and burglary. Yes. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. Oh, what? Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me? In other words, the confident trickster from those tiny islands in the Far East, the ponies. You. I'm sorry, I'm not angry at you guys. I'm angry at him. I can be angry at him if I want. No, like you. I mean, I kind of do. But you're very, very. Tony Pony, give us a chance, man. Give us a chance, man. What? Did you really just say that? He means you now, Bruno. I'm actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal. What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me, or he was talking about all Japanese people? I think it's a little bit of both. And he has a really bad bias at you because you've been winning his cases. So it can get pretty angry. And those things can be very bad. And you're biased towards things. Can't think properly. An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Okay. My gosh. Don't put me on any formal or having like workshop or pitches, or put me on like TED Talks. Because I don't think I'll be able to read all those... pronounce all those fancy words. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of people. Oh! Now I want to know who's the jurors this time. It's gonna be fun. Ah! Ah! Wait, excuse me? Alright. Let me get this straight. Okay. let me get this fucking straight. We got Mr. John? John, why are you blushing? John. Guys, I think John has a little something with the maid next door. Look at that. Look at that sly face. Look at it. Look at that face. He'd be like blushing, be like. That's what he looks like! Someone? Is this the grandpa from before? Is he a doctor? Is your grandpa a doctor? Okay, so we got the telegram looking lady. And excuse me? Is this Bushwick? Is this the criminal from the boat? Why is he so near? Hold up. Oh boy, it's gonna be something. Alright, let's do this. Former lieutenant in British Army here. Don't you know, chaps like me were born ready. Oh. My gosh, this man. Oh, I get it. The reason why he wants John to be a maid because he has a thing with maids. Oh my god. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Who are you? Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. You don't need for that. Definitely not Miss Pavlova there. Definitely not that. Ooh, that man have a really distinct face shape and nose. I don't understand. I can't believe I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. What the heck? Ah, there she is. Wait. Where's your typewriter? Where's your typewriter? There he is! What are you doing here? Is that your passport?
Good day. I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Is something wrong, Murdo?
Not exactly. It's just...
I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors, almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidence like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors have chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. So I've been led to believe. Something tells me I'm being duped. Duped? What is going on? The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. Okay. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin a word of warning to the ladies and gents of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of the pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. This court will observe there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. That is the most gentle pointing I've ever seen. You have to be, you know, Blanzix or everything about him is smooth. Moving on the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. But killed it! Not her! Someone like the accused, you might say. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and the crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Okay.
Indeed, the court accepts.
Hand them to the bailiff, please. Alright, Lizzie. I wanna check the Chloe card. We have a bunch! Oh my gosh. So... Juror lineup, Crescent Moon, Maido, Stereoscopus, Garden. Is that a garden? I mean, okay. Yeah, okay. You know what? He can't be a garden gnome. He can be a garden gnome. That's fine. Miss Telegram, not Grimes Royal. Yes. Correct. Lizzie. Yes. Okay. Details of victim. Name Pop Windy. Why do you have to name it? I know that he has tendencies to you know, hold his gun everywhere, but don't name him Pop. Occupation pawnbroker. Okay. Time of death. Reporting party. Look at me. That's me. Postmortem. Finding single bullet wound, no visible sign of trauma. Autopsy findings, instant death from posterior anterior bullet. Okay, so bullet entered from the back, from a diagonal trajectory, But that's weird. Because the photo, he's literally near the... He's literally near the door. And Ginaa's right there on that side. I mean, we know that Ginaaa is not the one who did it, but... I now ask the court to turn its attention to the plan, or to the span of the establishment where the incidents occur. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was locked. In the sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest to the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, he had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Oh yeah, we will see. Oh, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Is that grubby little girl pickpocketer anyway? Oh my god. Ah! What the jurors waiting for? We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are you gonna crash it before drinking it? My learned Nipponese friend. It is you who mustn't jump into a conclusion. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. What? Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pig purse of cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into the evidence. Hand them to the bailiff. Wait a minute! Give me! Go, give it! Because I want to examine it as much as I can. At once, my lord. Yes. Okay. Look, see. This is Mr. Windybank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty. Mr. Windybank always used to keep this gun to hand on his shop counter. Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand. That's right, to keep all the pawn articles that were in his care safe. But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Is there anything else that is like sussy about this? Oh, okay. Empty, not even the brass casings? Apparently not. Yeah, this is what we see. But you get what I'm saying, right? If she shoot him from this way, she would. I mean, no. You know what? We'll talk about it later. This isn't good. I feel like the mood here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden. But no. I think that's because it has. Ah! The cape has heated. It has begun. Bring forth the witness to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybanks on the 16th April of this year. Oh my goodness. I wonder who... Oh, so that's... Okay. Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court. So these are the guys that we saw! That shoot! Mr. Holmes! Mr. Holmes! Name's Nash Skulkin. Huh. Occupation, baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Ringo Skulkin. Skulkin. Occupation, citizen. Are you guys... Okay. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. It does look like a pear. It does look like an apple. I see the resemblance now. That's right, we're what they call those three skulking brothers. Where's your other bro? What you looking at me that for? Don't lump me with you lot. Corbliby, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going from? From? It's our older bro. It's our older bro. Lost contact with him. We have, so we are scouring every shady corner of the capital. Okay. And then last night we came across you. The very speed of the bloke. Speed of the bloke. Oh, ain't that right, Ringo? Nash, he is. The very spitting of him. Spit image! He looks like him! There's still a match what I saw when Sholmes got shot before. Yeah. I thought this little guy was McGilded. So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call ya. Oh my gosh. Big bro, sulky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin. And that's before he ran out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson! Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. Tobias? What I like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulking brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves are they, these three? No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me with this lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in far more sinister crime. Everyone can have snacks and drinks and alcohol in court, huh? Yeah, now there's a cat running around because Iris brought Waggy in the establishment. By Jove! You mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence. Indeed, my lord, while attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Holy shit! He's on a box! Bro, you could have missed him if you don't even look down. He's so tiny. A pair of bad. Okay, no. I'm not gonna jeopardize my my court case by booming in the courtroom. You see a gremlin? He looks like a gremlin. Look, he looks as tall as a gremlin. Not gonna lie about that. It's amazing that Naruto, can actually saw two people. Even though one of them is like goddamn short, so that's something. Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceeding. Oh, it will. We'll make it. We'll make it. Didn't you just boom in Van Zeke's face before? No. What? The court wasn't really in session. It's still like the first few, so it's not really beginning. It's just fine. What you talking about? Though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector, skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. You will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Apatu, cause the skulkin never skulkin. Get out of it! They were blushing! They're so cute! Oh my god, he looks like Captain Hook. You know what you... If my jokes are too bad, I'll accept. You know what? Someone... Elsie, you need to write a pun book. You know? We was walking down Baker Street in small hours and the gaff's door was ajar, see? What does it sound like? One of those sounds. It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in. It was. Once we got inside, Corp Lami, we heard the gunshot from the back room. Oh, we went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. I can't. It's very hard to read these. What is? We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet. Oh, you shot us! Nice and quiet, my ass. Terrible coincidence. At the precise moment these entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. A door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. Must say, it does appear to have an overwhelming simple case. So the defense may cross-examine the witness now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Wow, hakuka to you. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Bruno? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know it all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose the testimony for the pack of lies it is. Yeah. This guy has the definition of butt cheeks. Yeah. It has the butt cheeks. The front door of Winniebank's was ajar, you say. What time of night was this? Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I would say so, right, Sulky? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Isn't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Ginaaa Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. That is pure conjecture. Perhaps it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. Don't enable them! What's okay? What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, good God moves in mysterious way, they say. Don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. He's leading the witness, right? Kind of feels like Edgeworth this time. God's will often present itself as the whim of thieves, does it? It weren't no whim. I'm dead sure of that. It weren't, Nash, it weren't, like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no way two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside. Long-lost brother? Huh. They're not a very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. It lets us so bloke what looks like just like our brother. Who looks like him? Eh? What is this? This is so cute. Oh, yo! They look so cute. Can you imagine? Bale Strongheart, Baron Van Zeke, Nash cooking, and Ringo's cooking. I'm sorry, I just can't. I just can't. It just all looks so cute. I can't. They're so adorable. Which one is the bro of Mr. Windybank? I don't know. Probably the one other person. Maybe the real culprit. Who knows? So cut it out. Those chips are getting chomping today. I would love some chips. A gunshot, you say? Just the one? Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, governor. I can swear to that. Facing like a pair of hams or a mall line. Exactly, look at them! I know they're thieves, but how can you... It was, Nash, it was. In the right, bruv. The firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windybank always used to leave his gun lying around the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Winnibang always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true, I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Yeah, we know! Shut up! Wonderful. Man, Van Zeeks really know how to stir or, you know... What do you call it? Yeah, stir the situation you're in. Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having a difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps the drawing would help. Sorry. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that is the storeroom. Of course, there was a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by. And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo. Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in two ways on hearing gunshots or screams. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. Stop spinning this thing around! You're making all the thieves think, oh, they're like heroes. My gosh, slimy. He's slimy. Slimy. This gentleman are the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is the former. Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So I believe that we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. Okay. You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story? Well, it was Bedlam Sunas. Weren't it? Okay. It was, Nash, it was. I didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy Lockets. What is Lucy Lockets? What is Lucy Lockets? So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say? That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace loving nibblers. We are not bludgers. Nibblers. Okay. There, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out of me Lucy pockets. What's this look? So you're clearly like us to believe. Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? Oh. And did you not fire a gun at that person? Oh. Saints alive! They're firing a gun, you say? Ah! Blimey, Governor! You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway? It was. Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with the gun. As you fled the scene, you fired that gun. And London's greatest detective, Sherlock Holmes. They shot the girl actually. Actually, they rushed to the hospital. The great Holmes, that's beyond the pale. Blimey. That was hard. The night in question, the pair were arrested by the police within minutes of discovery of their crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when they searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Oh, he's gonna say that it has nothing to do with the murder. That's what he's gonna say. Nothing to do with the murder at all. Nothing. Furthermore, the barrel shows sign of having shot been have a shot having been fired from it. Okay, sorry. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. You skulking brothers. The gun has been entered. Okay. Now, my alert Nipponese friend. Yeah? Here's to your successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Oh, whoa! Well, I don't need evidence because I was there. However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. Oh boy. If the defense failed to provide evidence in support of these rash claims, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Winnie Banks that night? There's only one. Lucy Lockett is Cockney rhyming slang for pockets. Oh, really? Oh, what'd you say? Wait. What'd you say? The court demands all claims are... Okay. Alright, give me a momento to savor. Alright, okay. So... It would be funny if Sholmes shows up and delivers his system. It would be funny. I don't know how the court will handle Mr. Sholmes, because Sholmes are very you know how he is, right? I don't know if he's worthy in court. Either he's gonna make everyone go confused. I don't know how Sholmes are an enigma. Yeah, this thing is the one I want to present because there's a bullet here. Because I don't think there are any other evidence I can show other than that, honestly. So I might be just giving them this, which is weird, but I have no choice, I feel. Honestly. Either that or I'm dumb. I don't know. I'll just try. The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth do you have there, counsel? During the course of our investigation, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Fuck off! Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then. Counsel, present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unload the firearm at the scene? Right over here. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? Explain! It's a photographic print taking at Windy Bank's pawnbroker on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged in there. Yeah, I don't know how the police does not see that. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The day shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot has been fired sometime after the calendar has been set to 16. That's right. And while it's irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witness did fire a round from their gun and the pawnbroker that night. Nah! Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks? Papa. He drinketh. Will he crush us? No? Okay. It is the direction my learned friend wishes to take. The prosecution has no objection. What? Aha! How gay! There it is! There it is! Shabayom. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice as a sight in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Oh my god. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Eh! Take it easy there, governor! You're gonna land us in the soup! We had the deal, you weren't gonna get into the details. A deal! A deal, they say. Tell him, Sulky! Set the book straight! I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese man a word of gratitude. What do you mean? I mean, is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot has been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So that's it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god. They can't even do a secret handshake properly. Until the very last one. Oh no. They miss everything. They can't even do... Okay. I know that these are baddies, but can you just say like these are the most precious baddies that I've ever seen? They're just so dumb. Oh fucking bull! This is our bulbos, I tell ya. I wish I can replay that. I wish I can replace that. It was horrible. What is that supposed to mean? We didn't mash, we didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry and intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? We're in for now, bro. Now then, Let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appeared to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machineries. Eccentric says who? They have the best friendship. Well, they are brothers, Gonyom. They're like a chill version of Waluigi and Wario, right? Not me, don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim. Whoa! Is this time within that 30-minute mark it captures the most valuable thing? Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. What is that, console? It has an appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea of that being if a thief were to break in the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device. Ooh! On another. Ooh! Photos! As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Until... rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. Oh, 2? Yeah, there's 2. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premise, their respective position are... Here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if anticipated thief conducted his activity in one of the many 30 minutes intervals. Yes! Exactly. One can only pray that the would-be criminals lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught in camera. Oh my gosh, oh. There's a friar talking, bro. Lady Luck loves the skulkin. Witnesses, at what time did you trespassing begin? It must have been just after 1. Right, bro? Must have been Nash. Must have been, yeah, just go 1. Gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the... Oh boy. Good lord! It's the defendant! Miss Ginaaa Lestrade! Oh boy, Lestrade! Explaining to do! As the court can clearly see. Incriminating! The accused is pictured gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Well, that sounds like Ginaaa, honestly. Quiet! One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. Okay. I don't believe it, Ginny. In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. I say, my lord. What? Is it? Wonder if I might put a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. I took a bally bullet to the knee. He took a bullet in the knee. I was a soldier. but then I took a bullet in the knee. Declaring for it and all of that, but forced to retire from service. I knew it! Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am, leading the small squadron, 6 men, all good and true. And we'll go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Gadidep Squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make judgment here. Status report for the court, men on the double! His Lordship insists to promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too. Think you'll find the truth as clear as day. Now I could reach out and touch... No. I would have left it in there. It just wouldn't... Well, no, I can actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Yuzai!
Yuzai!
Yuzai.
Yuzai!
Yuzai!
Yuzai.
Yuzai!
Oh boy. If it does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous and ununanimous. Yeah, and it's leaning already. Todd Howard, you've done it again! That photograph, it must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Ginny didn't show him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a examination. Our galleon is so goddamn confident. Very well, the court grants permission. So you refuse to admit defeat again? Oh, how unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with a summation examination. Mr. Foreman, all the members, all jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Objection! Yes. Judicial. Yes. All the evidence clearly points the finger of the guilt at this young pickpocketeen. As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find out if you look at this photograph in the stereo, the truth was just... This guy has a little bit cuckoo in the head! I've left it in there. I should think there would be a repercussion. Guys? Can I say something? Mr. Grandpa over here has been saying that he left something in there. And he's dressed as a surgeon. And you know who had been recently just being in a surgery? Is this guy the one operating, Mr. Sholmes? What did you live in there? Mister? What did you live in, Mr. Sholmes? That's all he's thinking about. He's not even saying anything. Mind made up. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop. In motherland...
In motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
The circumstance of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storm locked from the inside in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. Russian point accent is on point. Thank you.
It's very hard.
I haven't been able to do a British accent. It's really hard. Even Scottish and Irish is really hard too. And the accused hand the fatal revolver. Oh my gosh. The firing of which was heard by the witness. If Sholmes dies due to complication, we know who to blame. Yes, yes. No, we know. No, we now know. We now know. Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl was on the verge of pulling the belly trigger. Oh gosh. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, early cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. Well, sometimes it happens. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. Ginaaa didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's more to this situation that we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, Counsel. Let's go. Let's just press everything. You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Gardeb, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this. Oh, you're the lawyer chap. Well, there's a turn up for the books. Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? Oh, trying to like kind of nudge, wink, nudge. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that, therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Gardeb's house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers move out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take the tenancies. Oh. I haven't had the heart to break the news to Johnny yet. But enough that the old girls clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot. But not for us. That's for Dash certain. I suppose not. Of course. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. Obviously, but honestly, I really wish he paid more attention to the trial and less to the jurors number 2! Polishing the bench, I see. Again. Maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean filthy eyesores? On my way to the market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpocketters, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. That's a little harsh, perhaps? Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those backstones would be made spick and span or eradicated. Plus, we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. That's right. I would like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Ranked magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes, a maid. It's really quite unforgivable, gutter scum, having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. A major confirmed Sherlock Holmes fan, yeah. If a piece of furniture is going to dust, we know how to... Yeah. That happen. You keep scrubbing, the more it wears down. Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed, they're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright, I shall amend my statement. I agree with you. The shooting of Mr. Sholmes wasn't a forgivable act. But the purpose of this trial is to determine who shot the pawnbroker, Mr. Windybank. I'm afraid you're splitting hairs, sir. Sorry? Whether it was the thieves or the pickers, it was still gutter trash that shot the pawnbroker in the end. Felt that should be cleaned up and eradicated, in my considered opinion. Thanks so much for sharing. Changing this mind isn't going to be easy. Or no, it was one of those two brothers that shot Hurley, wasn't it? Yes, without a question. Well then, I'll never forgive them. Don't! Even though they look adorable. We can, definitely. Definitely can, Iris. Trust me! This is not my first rodeo. What do you mean? I'll look at the photograph in the stereo. Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at a photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously. But there's no indication the defendant ever fired the gun. What I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in the stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? You know what? You know what? Maybe he has a point. What if the guy has a point, guys? So the camera was here and over here, wasn't it? So we only have a photo from over here. What if we need to have another photo from over this side? So then we have a stereoscopic photograph. No? Okay. We just need another photo. Oh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. It never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. Extraordinary! It's captivating! It's the height of modernity! Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope is here to stay. Giving us new perspective we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might... No wait, I did! No, for me. For me. What exactly have you been muttering about this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that. Oh, so sorry. As you can probably... I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field. So what is it you think you left behind? Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing to be honest. Usually I was operating on someone else's shows. Yesterday, standard thing went through the abdomen. But when I finished the procedures, I couldn't find my scalpel. Oh no! No! We don't need foreign bodies. We don't need no more shows about that.
What? Surely not.
Exactly, surely not. You said to yourself, don't you worry, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. So that's one way of putting it, and the other is manslaughter. Uh-oh, scalpel in Sholm's tummy. Uh-oh! That's exactly my concern. And seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can. Gregson, you told us that Sholmes is gonna be in the tip-top best surgeon. But look at this. It's just an old man. I'm sure you need to be more sure. Yeah. I mean, made up. Sorry, a radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from Far East? Yes, the Empire of Japan. All communication with the Far Eastern nation used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. But now we have electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds connecting to the entire world. Thousands of miles of cables on the ocean bed? That makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You're well informed, young lady. So cute. But cable will soon become a thing of the past. Just when I'm starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop messages carried over airways to four corners of globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Atmosphere electric. Right. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. People say inventions like these, like the stereoscope, are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly to... Oh gosh, you're angry. Juror number 3, sorry to interrupt you when you're obviously fuming, but... What? You ever have something to say about the juror number 5's last remark, as if I couldn't guess? Oh, you bet I do! Say that again, go on, I dare you! Goodness, are you talking to me? I think you just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely, I mean really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? In all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Telescopes are no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. There it is. If you had a pair of 2 photographs from a crime scene that you could view through the stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never even noticed before. What? Have you gotten any, Reno? Any person you can look at with the stereoscope? Obviously. Absolutely. How about the sprint here? It should do the trick, I think. Yeah, we need the second picture. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying that you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I would like to demonstrate. I'll be delighted to. Just give me one more print, I'll amaze you. Ah, we don't have it yet. Dang it. Or do we? Wait a minute. So I guess, okay. This is like that one meme where that OP got into a fist fight and the guy said aluminium was best metal. Or we can do with this one. Interesting. I might have to... What you call that? Go back from the start. Yeah. Wait, sorry? What do you mean, one more print? Oh dear. Don't you have these in Far East? Don't you know how to stereoscope? I do! Bruno! What? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? You know, one for the left eye, one for the right eye? Yeah, I just need the other one! Hey, Van Zeeks! Gimme! But the print on photograph is just a normal photograph, yes, but there is another place where we can get the other one, come on! Because in the name, it's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then. Ha! I think you'll find out in... Oh, yeah. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council? Oh, that was fun. Oh gosh, okay. Please tell me you're not the villain Bolshevik? The Russian revolutionary? Revolutionary?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe there is such a rumor.
It's just a rumor?
As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like a vicious criminal.
Your words, not mine. I just want to point that out.
People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat.
And which glove fits?
Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Right, that didn't sound safe at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts.
To be treated like vicious criminal all time is very painful. People do not realize. I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals speak only because how they look.
The Skulkin brothers?
Yeah, maybe they went inside Plum Broker shop. But they have not... They have done nothing wrong. That's what I was about to say.
The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night? Alright, well first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding. I'll need to clear it up straight away. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Runo? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like the revolutionary? I wish I knew. If I can't change the minds of more than half the system. Yeah, we'll try. Okay, so I know. So the foreman is always gonna be the hardest. So I can pit her. And him. Those two seem clearly contradicts each other. Good lord, Consul, explain yourself. My statement? Contradictory? Contradict. Contradict. Random, it means you just grab the closest people from the court, I guess. That's why we got regular visitors. That's a good point. Jury number 6, you got the wrong end of the stick. I don't...
Oh my gosh, this song. I do not have stick, I have mouse.
As juror number 2 just said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers felt the scene on the night of in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear.
Abdomen.
Sir?
Sorry, my English still running.
You are telling the court you didn't hear?
Forgive me, I did not hear.
Is the word.
Abdomen. Part of person body containing stomach and other vital organs. So if this is what you mean, you should say in plain English, I am Russian, not native speaker.
Would have thought it was a good idea to let this man be on jury again.
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals are lying? As they said before, we've never done anything. The truth is they had shot detective, yeah? This is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Lying is wrong, especially when lies said by person who looks like criminals.
Oh no! Poor mouse! Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. That's a long mouse!
This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so...
Enough! I trust no one now.
Oh gosh. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir.
Oh god! I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid Yes, it is, Runo, easily. Sorry? But the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. If you compare the prints that pictures in Genie in the next one half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Koi! Mr. Prosecutor! Tut-tut. Calling the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the pawn shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured in film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. Can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. the entire circus, exactly.
You're in it too, though, Zeeks.
So the brothers who look like criminals.
So, brothers who look like criminals stole only one life. They shot men, but they stole nothing.
Would seem so, yes.
Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it's very important to continue with trying.
Yay! Well done, Bruno. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what the jurors are saying I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we just might turn the situation in our favor still. Thank you, Consul. Continue with the summation examination. Okay. And kindly hand a new photographic plan to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. I need the other side! But maybe we can try anyway. Well, I guess we have to try, huh? Alright, I have these two prints. We're both taken at the same camera and Winnie bags on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in position in some objects. That's true. I've forgotten that maybe. Then when your brain merges into image, notice the shift. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between the certain objects in the two pictures that's really important. So what happens if you use photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. I'm not foreseeing the scene three-dimensionally anyway. Oh, of course, now I see. I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Can you uncross your eyes before telling me? Have another look at this two picture from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. What is it? Can you see that there's really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There's two people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can say that straight away, but now try looking at the pictures in 3D. Oh! This has gone kaput! Mine! I'm not doing it! You do it! Wait. Oh gosh. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno? Not really! I'm just not very good at this, that's the trouble. Oh, don't worry, I just have the thing. Ah, thank you! I happen to bring me a portable stereoscope. I mentioned this yesterday, but if you had that contraption with you from the outset, you could have saved me from staring at Windy Banks and Ginaaa like I hate them all the time. And if you remember, I said in reply that it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Anyway, why don't you try using this helpful little aid now? I can't see it. Find a difference, yeah. But I noticed that the... Now let's see what we've got. Wait! Look at that! That's what's going with these two pictures. everything and the counter sort of jumps at you. Van can't cross his eyes, or but maybe the game dev can't make him look dumb by cross-icing, so we had to make him use the contraptions. Van Zik using stereoscope is impossible for me to take seriously. I mean, Alex, can you imagine? Van Zig's crossing eye, whichever, or Van Zig's using the stereoscope. Which is dumber? It is unfortunate when we can't see Van Zig's cross his eyes. I think that will ruin his reputation if we can see his eyes crossed. But the judge one is adorable though. Yes, that's it, you see! That's another amazing power of stereoscopes. Another amazing power? Is someone going to explain what is this black magic? Why deduce that some of the things in the counter seems to jump at you like that? I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principle of the stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the position of a certain object that lets you see a picture three-dimensional. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually it must have been a slight shift in their position. Yes, there must have been. Hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're a cross-eyed master. What? Me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Bruno, it's quite simple. It is? Just think it through step by step. The first photographs was taken at 1 a.m. Then 30 minutes later, a second photograph was taken. But the position of some items in the counter appears to be shifted slightly in the interim. So that means someone has done the thing. Guess. Zookers. Someone tampered. New information, stop, not mentioned in testimony so far, stop. Yes, we've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems, but I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in the summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items of the countertop will be moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? I guess. Until right now is responsible. Well, I have an inkling that some certain bobos might be doing the thing. Was the witnesses currently in the stand? It's the Skulkin brothers. Wait. This does not agree with what brother said in testimony before. You said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy pockets. In phrase books, it says dukes meaning hands and Lucy locks mean pockets. But is this another time? Is this what you're saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Hold on now there a minute, you can't be sure of that. I quite agree, the accused is common prick person after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic prints, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest was lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimonies. What accused is a pickpurse, common gutter trash. Why look any further of the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madame. No better, in fact, worse than a pickpurse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she is a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize the testimony given by her against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. Oh my god! Wait! Have you not washed your hands yet? Can you all see now? I think you'll find Stereoscope aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. He looks so adorable. Well, okay, he's kind of adorable too. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. We'll return home via Reagan strikes. Stop. Gotta keep those gloves sterile. That's why he used his head. Yeah, but why are you going to the courtroom with your surgeon outfit? I just got back the faceplant though. Right? Well, it would seem this trial has yet run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclination via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jurors without consensus, and I order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way, you should hold on to this for now. You never know when it might come useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But alright. No, it will come. Definitely. But Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witness that the court demands an additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. Bum, 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 bum. I want myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Ginaaa is innocent. Da 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 dun. Is it part 2? I think it's part 2, right? Yeah. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. Oh boy. I feel bad for him needing to be there. I presume you heard the defendant's counsel summation examination. Oh yeah, Governor. I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Cool, baby! That's gonna be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your action after you entered Winniebanks. Well, it was bedtime soon as worth it. It was nice, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy pockets. However, that was a lie! You brothers. On the night in question, you riffled through the items on the victim's counter. We never doubled the store. Oh, you figured that out. Good job. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. Yeah! And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. The bridge is strong with those two. Yeah. I thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. Where, yo? We're Blob, we'll Squeak, we'll Peach. Okay. 11th. Alright, we did knock a few things over. But we weren't rifling for nothing. It was where we heard the gunshots, see? It made us jump and all stuff went flying. Lumi didn't give out, Lummy. It didn't have give me a fright. Okay. We was thinking of the shooter come out the door and gets us next. We stuck everything back to where we found it and scampered straight in the black. We could have shot the pawnbroker. See, we never had a chance, did we? Okay. So you admit to the defense accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Winniebank's countertop in the night in question. Or not ransack, Golf. No. That's right, Nash. That's right. It's more like we tidied up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can make us sound a bit more cutthroat. It can't just be a coincidence that these men show up at Winniebanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it too. Lots of thinking in this one. Okay. Alright, we did knock a few things over. Okay. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't! We admit to something like that, people will think we was up to no good. Let's say Dringo, we owe China. We'll only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now it's resulting of lying in your previous testimony. That's exactly what you've done. Landed yourself into even more trouble. That's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your action to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing! Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Ah, I love this. Oh, sorry. I like that. That's great. So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much that you knocked all things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves need to learn to keep his shit shirt on.
Look, it was louder, right? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up that time. Big bro here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over the counter. He knocked over a lot of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot. Then got tangled up in some marionette, knocked over the picture frame, knocked the scales. Okay. You really master working quietly then. What a racket! Me granny would have been scared back into a grave at a clutter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some, I mean, it was quiet. And then some, it was quiet as a mouse, and then all of a sudden, bam. Oh boy. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped with this. Something to add to the testimony? Sorry. Been burping not really nicely. You seem to react just now to what Mr. Sokolkin said. Did it make you think of something? It probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Did it? You claim you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help feeling like perhaps we've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, fellas. If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has been hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against her. Easy! We'll get it right this time. That's it, yep. All's coming back to me now. Oh. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Yeah, you're right, Gov. You're right, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!" So in fact, you heard a voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously? We did, Gov, we did. Although I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing. What? That doesn't make sense! And a career acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of the door behind the counter it was. The storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim and Mr. Winnibang? On me granny's life, of course it was. On his granny's life, of course it was. It doesn't make sense. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Winnibang and the sound of his voice? So that would mean what? What, Nash? What? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel, indeed it would. No. We didn't know the geezer. Oh, how am I supposed to die when the bloke is in the fancy clovers giving him the evil eyes? Fancy clovers? Really? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On me granny's life it is. On his granny's life it must be. It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tidied up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, the bloke who owned the place was holding a gun, so we should just have fire instead of that. Eh? Eh? How? Is there 3 guns? Are you saying that Mr. Winnybang had a gun in his hand? Oh yeah, bet that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have gone pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted, we hear the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot." Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More like an empty threat, you could say. So Winnybang was known to keep revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say to that, to protect the articles in his keeping, would readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. Which is his, mostly. Yes. Good grief, extraordinary devotion, indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. Bet he wished he would squeeze the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun." And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot. It was more or less at the same time, Gov. That was such a funny enactment, but there's a contradiction right there. Big fat contradiction. Remember where the bullet comes from? Remember where the gunshot was supposed to come from? You know, the reenactment is kinda off because the gunshot was from the back, so that doesn't happen. Oh gosh, yum. You're so happy. I want this. I want this thing to be framed somewhere in the courtroom, saying like the bobo's blokes in all London. Before everything went that quiet, after that we done a slapdash job tidying the place up. Alright, let's press everything first before we have to present something. Sometimes we just need a little bit more details. So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then? Not on your life. Well, suddenly it's Russian, sorry. It went deadly quiet after that, did. Put the wind right into me. But anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way that was opening. Remind me to timestamp the Skulkin handshake in the comments later. The thing is, I wanna, like, when that happens, I wanna be able to kind of hide all the UI or the HUD, so it's like without any of the text box and everything, and just like purely them being fucking dumbos. They're terrible at making up stories, but their acting is superb. Because of their amazing acting, now we understand the biggest contradiction that just happened. Thank you, Mr. Skulkin. Thank you. Now we understand. Of course, it was locked from the inside, so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was, from the inside. Alright, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, will we? Unless there was some other way to get a view inside the storeroom, like through the key.
Or a spy hole, perhaps? Precious. We had no cut and run before we noticed anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day... we really cut the most. Okay, there's a lot of things that just flew past my head, right? They say they heard something, then they somehow were able to know that it was Mr. Windybank, and they also were able to know what happened. Man, these testimonies are killing my brain. Please cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body and the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Ginaaa was in there unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov, that's right! Couldn't have, even if we wanted to. We sucked everything. Yes, whereupon you fired shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It was a bit nasty there, hasty. Was that was, as truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf, like you turned out. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss. Good advice. Truth be told, my mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers and Summit, so they clapped the darbies on us like winking. And after you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, right? Correct? Well, yes. Well, listen, that proves it, doesn't it, eh? Instead of burglary, Scotland Bros should have been a motion picture actors instead, or Goomba stomping. Why should we believe that? Oh, why? Well, because it's true, isn't it? The place was totally empty when we went in. And that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, when having been forced to open the door by the accused who had the gun hooked to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windybank. Correct? You caught it, mister! Down to a T. So the Scotland brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank? Is that really true, I wonder? I wonder if we can somehow turn that around, you know, the whole... Yeah, the whole thing. What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. No need for herbal tea. Yeah. Because the thing is, now I don't really know what to prove first. The people expression, the movement of their eyes, the words they chose. You can take that in, and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with the feeling you described. You concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing that. Why? That's all. I think you should trust your instinct. Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. But at least herbal tea keeps you sober instead of wine. Yeah, you know what? You make a good point. I don't know why Mr. Mr. Van Zeek's not drinking herbal tea. I feel like herbal tea is very, very British-like. Alright, let me just get a save. Zeeks is down bad for cosplaying as Dracula, so that might be why. Yeah, that's true too. Shooter came out the door to get us. We broke only way he was holding a gun, so he just half stride instead of yelling. Wish we can like a bit. Yeah, I wish I can just like, you know, that thing is bad. That is very sussy. How are we gonna do this? There's no way for us to present this one because there's no mention of where the victim was shot, even though the reenactment says so. But maybe we could do something about the identity and the revolver thing. Didn't give me a fart, huh? I was thinking it should come out. Let me press this again. Give me yeah, that one I want to know. That looks weird. You can show the photo of the gunshot, right? I guess we can. But I guess this one. Let me try. Still weird though. He's not holding a gun, that's the thing. The thing is, it feels like there's two guns at the same time, but where is the other gun, you know? That's a little bit confusing. if you look at this, he's not even holding a gun. She had the gun. I'm trying this. What? Okay. I was right. You're saying that on night of question, the victim, Mr. Winnie Bang, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Golf. You got the picture? Hey, Nash, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winnie Bang was not in possession of firearm or any description. You surprised me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromise the position of the accused even more? Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic prints presented was taken suitably short period prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right! Too right, Nash, too right! Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. What? I didn't get anything? Eh? Eh? What? What was a neutral outcome? Yeah. Alright, let me just present the photo instead? The death photo? So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winniebank, wielding a gun, is that correct? Uh-huh. That's right, Gov, you got the picture. And now she asked, no question. And yet the photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winniebank has not holding a knife! I mean, sorry, a gun! Sorry, I guess you can... Gordon Bennett! Hey, right? You can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winniebank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as a murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah. Yeah, that Mo Tooler used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Kind of a thing. Say exactly where you are right there. Eh? And the crime had taken place. You're so colorfully described your testimony. It would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, you're sure, counsel. You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where's the proof that demonstrated inconsistency in the witness portrayal? The wound! According to their testimony, the witness claimed to have heard the gunshot of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshots. Indeed, with these two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we have been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I could ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Winniebank was in fact shot from behind. So So as stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. But it's the God's honest truth. And it's Nash it is. When he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand and we saw with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you just right now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun? Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses. Now, on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, there you fucking go. Order! Witnesses, explain yourself at once. Well, the thing is, we weren't supposed to, Oh god. You know, when you just slowly do that pose, that's so scary. It's so scary. It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand you replaced the untruth of your original testimony with renewed lies? I'm ever so sorry, Governor. The truth is, we, Cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If we blab now, you know what it'll do to us. What are they talking about? Let me make your position perfectly clear. I read the Skulking Bros ah and wah in Waluigi's voice. Oh gosh. Ah! That sounds like Skeletor though. Ah! You will talk. There's no other option available to you. Okay. Bro, come on, the game's up. You'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't been quite sunk in yet. And no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand you testify again and explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, do I have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Oh gosh. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we've had it. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as ox, chucked me over the counter. He pulled me gun on him and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with the killing. What? Now that's more confusing. So now you're telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you've in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves in an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest Governor, this time, we ain't nothing more to hide. Huh. And they put the gun on the dude. Yes, my lord. This is it. Brain still hurts. So, alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Okay. When you say geezer, I'm presuming you're meaning the victims and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windybank? Who else? Sorry, that's right. was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. We never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. Back room being the pawnbroker storeroom? Yeah, that must have been where he popped up from, only the place he could have been. It would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginaaa must have been in there and at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Ginaaa had threatened Mr. Windybanks into the storeroom with her gun at her gunpoint, sorry, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at the time? What, the mole taller? I couldn't tell ya. No way, Cobber. We're a bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. You know the guy you bellow and the... You mentioned how Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Did we? You did. But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windybank wielding a gun at that time? Was he ever? Blimey lummy! A great ugly barrel you had, pointed straight at me frontispiece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with the gun at that time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is, spot on. Then all of a sudden he came out as he did. It was Bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean... Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, of course we did. You knocked over the load of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot. Yeah, got tangled, Heard that. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you, Well, Big Bruv here went flying over the counter like a gunshot. I can tell you, and then the old geezer pinned him. You did, Nash, you did! If you hadn't been there, the bloke wouldn't have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police via a secret cable from the pawnbroker. There's a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, then when the brothers felt the scene and backed onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windybank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank? No, never. It was just, looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being frightened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yes, that's it! He shoved me away and then ran off through that door and shut himself in. Well, according to what everyone has been saying, Ginaaa was in there waiting for him with a gun. That is strange. This inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is me and me bruv here. That's right, Nash, that's right, me and me bruv here. You had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all!
Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was from the inside. We know it was because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside of the storeroom is with the pawnbroker, there was only other person. It would indeed appear so. Says what say to you that counsel? I don't know. Is there anyone else apart from Ginaaa who could possibly have shot Mr. Winterbank? There must have someone else, but I'm not sure who. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Whoa. What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victims face to face that night, that of course of this trial changed completely. It did. What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winterbank? Winterbank. And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premise. Okay. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are facts. So pray, what are the possibilities you question of who shot the man could be? Counsel, you must now provide an answer to the court in respect of two conundrums. Two, my lord? Oh boy. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Bruno? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospect hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. He could fire it from right over here. Defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Right over there. That's the pee-pee hole. I feel like there's also an angle, but... What is it? Gently rising diagonal trajectory. But that's the thing! Rising trajectory. Not this, but like this. So that's also a weird... Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Continue. Mr. Winterbank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood in the storeroom, it doesn't appear the body was moved after death, which tells us that he most certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired. So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, put my gun on him and then he legged it through that door into the back room. Mr. Winterbank ran away through the door. We have to assume that the door was open at the time.
It was precisely at that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. But it's also locked though! Come to think of it, do you remember what this prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report said that the bullet entered his body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter height than himself. Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course, he would have been leaning towards when he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body an upward trajectory. And do you think like maybe we know who's short enough. Do you maybe think that Ginaaa was the one who locked the door in? Do you think that Ginaaa is the one who locked the door in and hold the Mr. Windybank's gun for her safety instead? Would that make sense though? I don't know. A lot of confusion because people it would say like the revolver was shot. There are signs of a single discharge, which is where, right? Where is this single discharge from? And where is this from? It feels like maybe... I don't know how. Could be, but that gun was fired. Exactly, now I'm confused. It feels like there's more guns! Windybank is holding one? Ginaaa was holding one? The same gun, perhaps? Or is it? I don't know. So many questions. I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. He claimed the victim was shot as he fled into the room. You also claim his cord was mysterious enough to turn the key on the lock? But yeah, there's Ginaaa. Yes, there is someone who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? That console? Yes. The victim was shot from the outside of the room, in which case who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside? Ginaaa did. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Ginaaa Lestrade. That's absurd! You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? Well, yeah, I mean, if she sees a goddamn dead body in front of her, you know, a living person got shot in front of her from someone behind him, wouldn't you want to close the fucking door? So action will only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. While I am inclined to agree, I must say, well, counsel? Yes, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Well, I just said so! But of course, Ginny would have locked the room. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Oh my god, Ryunosuke! Well, if that was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean... those two burglars just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Listen to me! Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That sounds rough! If your theory is correct, that will leave the accused... He needs a heart to imagine what it would feel like to see someone just get shot, you know? Yes, he would.
Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger.
My god, everyone except Iris never heard of self-preservation or some. Exactly!
Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell into the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And that would have been asked for ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this! Outside the store, there was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank, and as soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it in order to save her own life.
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it! Wait, God, wait! You gotta believe us! I mean, come on, we never shoot no one!
We did. Sholmes. That's a blatantly untrue. For a fact, I know that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you and your brothers have every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Banks. Witty Banks.
Murder! Classic Phoenix, right? You're not the true perpetrator, but we always have, you know, we always pin the blame to someone first and then we find the truth. That's what always happens.
3 brothers! That's amazing, Earl. All the members of jury seems firmly on your side now.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely I've given a verdict on... What?
He's laughing!
An admire effort, my learned friend.
What's this now?
Is laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord Von Zeeks? I myself find the defendant's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread of butter and butter of the street performers in your provincial... And oh, wow. What an insult. Such blatant malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than an inexcusable...
What?
The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly, cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. Yeah, I saw that already, but we just need to get to the truth. Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? I say, Lord Von Zeeks, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troop on the ground. The fatal flaw, my learned friend, is an argument really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then. Ryunosuke, how can you not notice this? Counsel. Yes, sir. Tell the court, how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime? 2. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim's back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. When the defense is presented a picture of... Mr. is the smartest ace attorney. Well, I feel like all the Naruhodo family tree are smart, but they're a little bit dumb sometimes. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Wait, I thought the bullet was stuck in Mr. Sholmes? Wait, guys, I don't remember. I don't know if you guys remember. Is that the bullet goes through Mr. Sholmes or is it stuck with Mr. Sholmes? I can't remember. crimes involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and then the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only a moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Hollock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that a single bullet that was fired from the brothers' gun hit Mr. Sholmes. It means Windybank was not shot by the same gun. Mr. Sholmes was shot in his stomach, right? How did I end up on the calendar wall? Yeah, wait, but does it go through? That's the thing. Does it go through, or was it stuck there? Most likely over-penetrate, because otherwise there won't be any exit wound that scatters blood out of the direction of the calendar. True, but we haven't know whose blood in the calendar is yet. Yes, this Nippon street performer presented an obstinately credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversion trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Order! Oh my gosh! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeeks! I had enough of you soiling my courtroom. The accused Miss Ginaaa Lestrade is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as juvenile. If it doesn't overpenetrate, then it was someone else's blood. Probably not a yet revealed person. No person in the dock is far from law-abiding citizen. She's past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbroker on the night on the question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond a doubt with this print, the pics are threatening. Oh no, but what's the motive? And I have here in my possession with one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc! The disc! Iris! There's a blood on the disc! Wait, we need to know the color of the disc! The color of the blood on the disc! The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtle of pickpocket, I might add, but the brute force and brazen impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy of the accused on her account years is misguided and dangerous. There are no deaths to which this girl would not stop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets that the facts is at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box into evidence. Yes, we'll do it! The blood in the disc is from Egbert Benedict when he pricked. Yes! Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson, what? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that this wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I am unaware of this such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor and I am alone to determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted, thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this as— oh shit! Indeed, bailiff! This is it. This is it!
Come on, let's do this! Iris!
Check the blood.
Oh, Runo, look!
It's just blood! Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Then it's my time to shine again.
Oh my gosh, if it's fucking green, or if it's fucking... if it's the mysterious color. What color would it be? So Egbert got shot. Can I perhaps say it got shot by Windybank's revolver? Huh. What say, pray? It's just that the green is... it's not the first time we've seen that color, isn't it? No, it's not. Isn't it? Isn't that something? From Magilla, that's the man you defended in the court a couple months ago, isn't it, Runo? Yeah. Or rather, mistakenly defended. I wonder what's his name doing on the back of this desk. It's a question I would like to know the answer to myself. We'll know that later. Alright. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I wait for your informed decision and I rest my case. We're gonna turn this... I don't believe it. Had the jury on my side for once and for all...
Yeah, I mean, that happens every time. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo.
My lord! I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. It's been stumbling about in a bit of fog up to now, if truth to be told, but... Sorry. Pardon me. They're about to end this whole man smug. We will! About the griffin, if the truth be told, but all of a sudden... The answer bell is obvious to me and my men, and there's only one thing for it. Oh no. Oh, we're gonna do another summation examination, aren't we? Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll present your leanings to defend... Okay.
You say.
I want to see him again.
You say.
Come on. Boom. Just smack her face fell into on that. It was hilarious. We have consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, what remains must be the truth. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. How dare he uses it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to discuss than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Ginaaa did not shoot Mr. Windybank. That's beyond any doubt.
proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Yeah! Are we gonna hit the third summation examination too? Like fucking... Miss Foreman, are you and your jurors ready? Oh boy. Very good. So ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain what you have. Okay, let's go. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed of to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say that the whole case is done and dusted. What is he doing? You don't need the stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cost me such grief. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see how this is gonna play out. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not about guns. Yeah, well. It would seem there's a little remaining room for doubt. Yeah, a little bit. When I fell apart of the house of cards, I saw that the jolly had been winked, whatever it is. Well, no more. Ugh, the whole courtroom is turning against me. That's not fair, Iris. Our prosecutor is being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Oh boy. There's bias as heck! Alright. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on this matter. Oh gosh. Sure. Here's the truth coming out eventually. That's enough preamble, counsel. Proceed to with the summation examination. Let's go. Let's go. I swear, the fucking doctor, the surgeon will say, "Oh, that one bullet is very hard to take out of," and we're like, "Oh, did you say bullet? Did you say bullet? Huh?" Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder? Is that what you're saying? Oh, well... Are all the members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumption about people because they are a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Well, yes, you might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl already shown she had it in her from before. She clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it. And when you say she was shown she had it in her, you're referring to this? Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that. I've never actually seen the real thing. Can't wait to have a closer look at it. Oh yes, of course. Monsieur Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? and then ordered every type of music box he could find across Europe. We still don't know what the tune it plays though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. Very cool somehow. Perhaps we should examine. We did! I already did! We already did! It seems the number of bullets has to convince. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asked me how many are invited for dinner, I always told her to count the table settings. That's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, something after dining crockery goes missing. Only one or two guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere, yeah, we will. Impossible for now. We don't know anything yet. Fortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during the investigation. Yes, I know. Right. I don't imagine the good man of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And I should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? It would! Do you think you might find one laying around somewhere? Yeah! And show Miss Tummy! So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures of a left eye and one eye slightly different right eye and one. Exactly! Then you can see the scene of 3 dimensions, like this. So if you have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful for them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same there. The only person who could have shot the victim, yeah. Maid ma'am, I have several questions about your employer. Oh, the employer is the lordship, right? As we mentioned, yeah. Well, eventually it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time, yeah. Talk to the guy! To Mr. Sergeant! There it is. Nah. You my friend. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say there's nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time you were operating on. What's the fellow's name now? Herlock. No, Herlock. Herlock Sholmes, by any chance? Yes, good lord! Is that Herlock fellow? What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right. Using every latest anesthesia technique I might add was fairly major opt, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not longer after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said they've been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened it up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find a bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The counsel of the defense is correct. It is clearly shown at this photographic print that the bullet of the skull and bruise
fired that Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, and exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging with the door. You'll find it really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. Ha! Who do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake. Are you saying you checked his back? Of course I did! And there wasn't a trace of injury. Not a sign of the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point! The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. But I only still... And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? Did he not check for a bullet hole before he cut open Sholmes like a fish? I guess he cuts it from where the bullet holes are? I don't know how surgery would work. Like if you see where the bullet hole is, you would cut it from there, right? The doctor shouldn't be on the jury if Sholmes is being brought up in the case. I know, right? What is he doing here? Muttering to himself. Alright. You're probably the ballistic expert there. Yep. What do you mean? You're in for a busy day? Forgot to say, do excuse me. I'm a communication officer. A communication officer? Does that have something to do with the sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all of them into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. The entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea! Worldwide communication. There's nothing to do with the cotton! I see. I'm sure I shall fire the newspaper report today's guilty verdict later. No sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Okay. Good afternoon! Good afternoon! I thought you were just a tourist? Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing. Would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. So I just was visiting the tours. They're a ballistic expert, who knew? I have much experience with guns. I've lived through many, extreme, violent bath of, blood of, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps. Yeah, those extreme violent bloodbaths. English very difficult. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about books, guns, you could ask me. Okay. There's nothing I don't know, no mystery I can't solve. I'm very confident knowledge about guns, that's for sure. But if possible, please only in Russian language. Not very confident in his knowledge of English though, is he? No, still, we should bear in mind his arm manages Mr. Guns, yeah. Gonzix has managed to convince everyone. We have eliminated him possible, he said. But he hasn't! If he's going to fight back, we need more material. Yep. That's safe! Alright. So... Hitting you... to him... Those two traits create the idea that all I do is pit yours against each other. Oh, ballistic expert. Pretty. On night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of exit wound on his back, we must assume that the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello. Hello, my name's Will. Pleased to meet you. Your name is Will? When I read it out loud, it's funny. There's apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery?
He's the villain, guys!
I've seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night, there was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold.
Golly!
The snow was piling high from both sides road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind and I fell down in the snow. And this situation was very similar to what I heard from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how would you say, exit wound.
Then where did bullet go?
The bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, where did you fall down?
The bullet hit frozen wall ice very close to my side.
What?
One small piece very sharp broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. Made deep wound that looks like bullet wound.
Good gracious!
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that's the solution to mystery of disappearing bullet.
But there's no ice! But that doesn't answer the question at all!
The shooting happened in from broker shop.
Not the snowy mountain road in other country.
Just an idea, but we might not be looking exactly the same scenario here.
Bruno, where exactly was Shirley shot again?
His stomach. Poop.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears his little pouch in his belt.
Pouch?
Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps his glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
What? Really?
Doctor, where's the pouch that Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Oh, well...
The fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived in the hospital as far as I remember.
If I may, or Van Zieks,
I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during the examination.
I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom.
Sorry?
As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene of the and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Oh, thank goodness!
I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all the other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch that for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Oof.
Very well. While extremely unconventional during a examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed.
Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes a pouch.
Oh, so Sholmes got the impact, but it didn't go through him? That should still leave him a nasty bruise, though. With the files? Did he find glass, perhaps?
So this is the pouch that...
was worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Look at that! One of the files broken and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file explode. So that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate Victor, but was deflected into Sholmes' fall. What? A delightful complex aroma. Huh? It appears one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective and accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of this case remain unaltered. Yeah, but where is the blood comes from? Why, if it deflects to the calendar, like what you're saying, whose blood was that? That was not Sholmes then. Sholmes then. For fuck's sake, why is the name so hard? This is not Sholmes then. Which is weird. I don't... Yeah, no, this doesn't work that way. Where's the bullet then? But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Yeah, thank you very much. Thought I could help. Maybe Ginaaa shot Eggy in self-defense before the burglars came in. Maybe! Maybe! And they all run into the thing and it actually never happened. Remember what the burglar said? What if the Skulkin brothers are actually accomplices with Egbert? Remember? He said like they were waiting on the entrance? Something? You know? Probably his pouch is scruffy. I don't know. Alright. Is there any blood here though? Look, there's a hole in the back. It doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow and left this hole behind. Yes, it looks like that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch will look like a beating, don't they? Yeah. There it is. Oh, that's a bullet! It's really scorched badly in there. Oh, the strap is broken, look! I must have where the bullet hit then. Let me see. There it is. What? What the? Iris, look! Behind the broken file, did you see it? That's the Skulkin brothers' bullet! There's 3 bullets fired. Heck fucking yeah! Please, my lord. One more time. This lady. Give me the. Yes. Want me to show you then the 3rd bullet? Yes.
Here it is. We discovered just now. Yes, one night in question in Winnie Bank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, a Uniponis conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Scholl's pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Scholl's waist before he was taken to the hospital, and since then, it has been touched by no one. What do you mean? The shot fired by the Skulkin Rose that night? Yes, and my lordship has surmised it hits this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Scholl's. It was clearly visible in the photographic print. Two guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that's of Mr. Winniebank and the belonging of Mr. Skulkin Rose. Thank you, Van Zeeks, thank you. Examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. Now we know that on that night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ugh. Ugh, my heart is hurting. That's what he was saying. I must be saying, oh, my heart, you can't handle. While the examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundation upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend... By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witness back to the stand at once. Oh, Judge, I love you! Zeke should leave the wine if he has weak heart, right? Witnesses. Governor! Were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the examination? We was, Governor, we was! Perhaps I could dispense this tedious preamble simply answering this one question. Third bullet has been identified in the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make it of I don't make nothing of nothing. Is it one of yours? Grand blimey, Gov, bro, not a chance. In that case, did you have a accomplice? What? Never! The Skulkin Brothers work alone. It's just 2 of us. It's our trademark. No, there's another guy. Poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Oh, that's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back all over the testimony we have heard and all evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture. Which of really happened last night. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. Look. On the night of the Winniebank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a third man. Oh yeah. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact there was someone else present carrying a gun. An accomplice, you say? Pig's will. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 subnation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been no murmur of a third man. If this apparently worth being exists, Van Six, can you? Oof. Wait, I was about to stretch. Right? I was about to stretch, but he suddenly broke his chalice. alone and the two of us kind of contradict a bit. Yeah, and if you remember Van Zeeks, their opening statement is they're sulky, and they went to the thing to find sulky. The prosecution demand answer two counts. Firstly, proof evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene. Okay. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel, I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to this prosecution demands, my lord, the defense is... I am ready. I feel like... I might be ready. Can we? Maybe we have... Maybe. We'll try. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers to prosecution's demand. So my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. Counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On neither question, on the ones leading up to the deaths of victims, what proof do you have there was a third intruder present at the scene? Examine that a bit. The third bullet. Alright? This is the proof that the third person existed, no? Ah, he doesn't like it. Okay. Yeah, you like it. So the blood sample was okay. So okay. I was about to do the blood sample, but I wasn't sure how that goes, honestly. Okay, let's go with the blood samples now. Okay. Those things. The evidence right here in this portfolio. By Jove, the portfolio isn't. Portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to riffle through the papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood sample proves the presence of this third murderer. Which one is it? This one. That am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's bloodstain, my lord. Bloodstain? Green blood? Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some kind of unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. By the great detective! New invention, stop! It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. The fogger spray, a chemical that reacts with the different elements of people's blood to change its color. Different elements of people's blood? Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see. Because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to look at blood. For example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank. Ah, it's striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could it be from an unrelated incident, could it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot was shot at the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulking Bros in stand doesn't appear to have suffering any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else, the third intruder, in fact. Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. We can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who's this alleged third intruder? The man's name is Egbert Benedict. Egbert Benedict? Who are you talking about, Counsel? He paid a visit to to Winnie Bank's pawnbroker on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Oh. Man, I want to see him again. Inspector Gregson was there at the time, and I can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate to this account, Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Winnie Bank for print to show him the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder governors. Yes, that's him! And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Never seen the geezer before in my life! On me laugh! On me laugh! Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with that assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my Lord Nipponi's friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence! I agree! Well... I feel that something has been missing in this trial. Yes. Yes. You ready? I am freaking ready. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day of question, the defendant attempted deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Winnie Banks, which is when the aforementioned Edgar Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was the following this that the minor incident occurred. Give me a bit. Okay. Of course, sir. Here's the disc. No. Here it is. Sorry. But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Very well. Shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc! It's mine! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? Being a music box, this is a calm, small but sharp
metal protrusion over its surface. The protrusion caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the result of the smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we added the result to this portfolio. I'd say it's green! Exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Eggert Benedict, who was at Windy Banks earlier today. The accomplice was present at the scene of the crimes the same night. Oh boy. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Eggert Benedict should be summoned to the court to testify. It would certainly seem that we can't ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence. This has gone too long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in the series of short stories for vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. Oh boy. And now you employ chemical substance devised by the fantastical persona in his highest court in land. You expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything, you're not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned into the shade of green. What of it? Here's to you, successfully proving that no other blood in the world could turn the same color. Well. Oh! Angie! And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholm's word for it. Mr. Sholm's invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. But how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination? In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief! What did you just say, young girl? In summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So don't I see it? It doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's inventions. At least, not for now. Technicalities, ha! Young lady, you have quite a devious mind. It really comes down to one thing. So bad we didn't count Van Zeek's leg up from the start. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of counting at that point added. That's why I haven't really put it. Is that about right, I would say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholm's partner is forced to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shrewd practice of situation from an entirely unexpected source, oh my gosh. It must be acknowledged to that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in this matter. Proud citizen of Her Majesty Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decision in turn, please.
Muzai.
Muzai. Yuzai.
Oh,
Yuzai.
Muzai.
there it is.
to calling guilty to four, and 4 calling to 4, what the hell? Then 4 calling not guilty. Such as the outcome of some nation examination. Oh gosh. My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender real police work, and they are too arrogant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I didn't think Daredevil would say not guilty. Well, you know, Afi, he's been looking over the maid, and the maid said, you know, the maid seems to be pretty convinced about what we said. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Nah! Unbelievable! Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonable requests to subpoena of a new witness. See, the word came back again. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman who gave himself Egbert Benedict is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. I mean, no shit! Could I say something? What was that, please? Who spoke? It was me, my lord. What have you say, madame? If possible, Inspector... me, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again? The one which the gentleman is shown? Right, yeah. We'll know the... Finally, we'll know what AG means! Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say... You know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No. Good gracious! Good gracious! Order, order! Juror number 5, how on earth? I'm a communication officer. As you can clearly see. And the gentleman in the photograph is also a communication officer. He works in my office. A very talented operator, in fact. He should be in the communication station now, tapping away on telegraph. This doesn't seem right somehow. I could put my finger on it. Why? But it doesn't feel right. I suppose all I imagined was the compass would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out he was a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to tonight. Yeah. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is on a London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within an hour. Or Van Zieks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangement with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord. I should like to hear from you specifically about the events that at the pawnbroker on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. I'm pretty sure that the jurors were actually not randomly chosen. It's just how it is. Alright. That should conclude today's stream. God dang. That was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Okay. You're chosen by fate. That's true. That's true. Okay. Well, that was a lot of things going on there. A lot of things. Another fun Ace Attorney. I'm really happy that you guys really enjoy that. I feel like I'm going on with Ace Attorney long enough. I feel like after we're done with the first game, I want to have a little break so we can play other games, and then we can go back to it again. Yeah. With my like horrible stream schedule, it's really hard for me to kind of allocate times to what games I should play. So I hope you're not getting bored just yet. Because I bet in the second game there's gonna be like a lot of shit going on, so. Night yo, thank you. Well, it's still very let's go to Toxin. Well, you know, it's still yeah, it's almost lunchtime. It's like almost 11 a.m. So I'm not gonna sleep just yet. My day has just started. Maybe I will nap a little bit. I'll nap a little bit, so, and then it's, you know, lunch, and then do work. So yeah, thank you guys for coming to my Ace Attorney stream. A lot of things has been going on, so hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this real soon. Thank you so much, guys. But enjoy any games you have in mind. I'll be, thank you. Even the Bobo's game. Even the Bobo's game you don't mind. I have a lot of games in mind, so hopefully I get better time to stream and time management, so I can play a bunch of games with you guys. Alright. Otsukoka, guys! Otsukoka! Dadah! Mataning! See you laters.